This looks like a piece of dirt right now, but when I finish with it, it's gonna look like a treasure.
Welcome back to Nick's Garage. Nick is doing what we all are right now, trying to keep his family safe and looking forward to a return to normality. He's missing his friends and customers, but he's lucky to have some classic iron to work with, and he wanted to share with us what he's been up to.
Here we are, another day, another quiet day here in the shop. I just have one mechanic just doing something essential on a customer's car. But besides that, I'm working on a 426 HEMI that belongs to Frank in Wakefield, Massachusetts. This is the block that came in a while back, and he had it repaired because at one time it was cracked. For the new viewers that haven't seen this previous video that I talked about, there were two patches welded on the side because I believe this block has cracked from ice in the past. I'm not so sure. It's got welded on both sides, but anyways, it's been welded, it's been checked, it should be good. So our job is now to put the engine together and then of course get it running. So I got the short block ready, I got the oil pump installed. The only thing left right now is I gotta order a cam, which I did, have it on order, it's gotta come. And I've got a set of heads for Frank, which are cast iron. But in the meantime, I had something in mind. My brother and I, we wanted to try something. We're gonna start this engine with a set of aluminum heads. They're both Chrysler, genuine Chrysler heads. They're both original, non-ported, no special valve jobs whatsoever. All I wanna do is put a set of aluminum heads versus cast iron on the same engine on the dynamometer. And I want to make a test to see what it makes in the horsepower difference. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to use the same headers, same induction system, which is the two Edelbrock carburetors on a stock intake manifold, same cam, of course the same pistons, the same short block. The only thing is, I don't know what's going to make a difference between cast iron and aluminum. So this could be something to see. So when I get this done, we're going to make a film on this, or video should I say, on YouTube for you guys to see the aluminum versus cast iron on a HEMI 426. Well, you know, benefit of an aluminum head is, of course, they're all the same. They're the same heads, actually. The only thing is these are a lot lighter. But then again, I don't know what's going to happen. I really want to see. So we're going to put on the set of aluminum and cast iron, one versus the other, to see the real numbers on the dynamometer. And that is the reason why I'm going to do it. This is what you call R&D, research and development. So it's going to be pretty interesting. It's a 426 HEMI. I've played with a lot of HEMIs. I've done a lot of HEMIs with cast iron heads. I know what they do. And of course, we're going to put a little bit more cam in this one. It's going to be a flat tappet, hydraulic tappet. Of course, my customer wanted to, doesn't want to adjust walkers. He doesn't want a mechanical cam and enough vacuum for power brakes. So we're going to put a little bit over 500 lift. And of course, test it with these heads. And these are heads are going to be, of course, the valve springs have to match the cam. So I'm going to have to find the right keepers, the right valve springs for the cast iron heads. These are already set up for what I need to do. So the only thing I got to do is I get it ready and then throw it on the dynamometer. We've had it for a while now. I'm trying to finish it off, but the thing is, of course, parts are coming in very slow. I can't get everything I need right now. There's a lot of little pieces that I'm looking for. So hopefully they come in so I can finish off the job. And I've got the induction system, which I had the intake manifold cleaned out yesterday, which Frank brought to me, which is right here. I had it cleaned. We ordered the carburetors from Mazzini Racing, which I have here. This is going to be a basic stock setup with brand new Edelbrock carburetors. Of course, we'll need a special air cleaner for this because the openings are much larger on the Edelbrock carburetors versus the original AFBs from Chrysler, which came originally on a HEMI. Nice, eh? All brand new. And this is the carburetor that's going to go in the rear because this is the one that has the choke. As we can all see right here, this is the one with the choke. So it's rear mounted, like so. I'll put this back in. Get this out of the way. Wasn't concerned about the linkage, I want to try. So for that reason, I got to put both carburetors on the intake manifold. There goes one, and here's the other one. He bought them, as I said, because Mazzini sells it as a kit. Of course, it comes with the linkage, It's got the fittings for the fuel lines. It's got the fuel lines. It's got the brackets that go on the intake manifold. The only thing we're missing here is the air cleaner, but we're not going to be concerned about that right now. Here's the front carburetor. There we go. And here you have it, 1405, 1406. I guess they had the carburetors tuned for this application by Mazzini. And then there's the linkage. Here it is. Here's the brackets, but this is what I'm concerned about because we want to make it progressive. Progressive is when you drive with the car, this is going to run on 2 barrels when you're cruising. Then when you go full throttle, it's going to open 2, 4, 8. For example, here, let me set it up so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. And I can see that Mazzini did the drilling to make it progressive, like so. And then over here, the other one, you see, I see they've also installed the bushing, so it makes it a lot easier for me for installation. Then this goes like that. And of course, I'm going to do the adjustment on the dynamometer. But in the meantime, you guys can see this choke is wide open. Then this is where your linkages for the pedal to your accelerator rod, or should I say accelerator pedal cable, like so. See, when you're cruising with the car, you're working on 2 barrels. Not like this. Like this is staggered, like in other words, it's going to work like a double pumper. We wanted to make it work like the way it came from the factory, like so. Then when you go full throttle, after like halfway on the gas pedal, all 8 barrels open up at once, like so. So you see, when you cruise, you're always cruising with the 2 barrels. Then when you floor it, all 8 are open. And if you look closely, you can have all the linkages, all the butterflies on the bottom are mechanically opened up by the linkage. But then there's 2 barrels on each rear of the carburetor are velocities. In other words, they work with vacuum, I should say, vacuum, like so. Then when you let go, watch this. See how the butterflies on the bottom? They're mechanically controlled. And then of course, the upper butterflies are controlled by vacuum. So the butterflies on the top only open up for what the engine demands in vacuum. In other words, you can have the biggest carburetor in the world. If it's vacuum controlled on the secondaries, it only opens as much as the engine demands. Unless it's a double pumper, which is mechanically wide open, it's a different story. But on a street car, this is what I prefer. Vacuum secondaries, or what you call vacuum controlled secondary butterflies. And this is the exact setup I have in my keeper, which is the 426 that I've sold to Pierre, which is the same setup. Same thing, but he's got the original 69 carburetors on the keeper, which is the same setup like we see here. All the same, except these are Edelbrock carburetors, and the ones on Pierre's car are the genuine 69 AFBs that came with the engine in 1969. You know, of course, my customer Frank went with brand new Edelbrocks because, you know, finding old original carburetors are rare, worn out, need work, and you want to make sure the run's good. But you know what? You just buy a new set from Edelbrock, like so. You know they're brand new. All you have to do is check the air-fuel ratio when you get it running in the dynamometer. And of course, this one has all 4 screws. You can adjust front and rear carburetor, so it's a lot easier to adjust for idle. So this is a perfect package.
But rebuilding classic Hemis like this one takes more than just buying a couple of new carburetors.
I got the time machine cover cleaned up. I've located a water pump housing that I need. I'm going to get him a water pump with 8 blades to put on. We've got push rods. I don't know if the push rods are going to fit. Of course, I got to assemble the engine to figure that out. I've got his rock arm assembly. That's ready. He's got valve springs here that I believe will not do the job. I might have coil bind with him. Coil bind is, let's say the cam opens up to a certain amount, and when you squeeze too much, you have coil hitting coil, so that's not going to be good enough. So I'm going to do all these measurements when I get the camshaft. I've got his studs, I got his springs, I got bolts for the intake manifold, oil pan screws, his brackets to hold the linkages on the other side, his return springs, his fuel lines, and of course I've got his wiring and his harmonic balancer, which is right here, and he's going with a genuine dipstick. And I also have an order coming from another source, the exhaust manifolds. But we're going to do the test on the dynamometer with headers. But in the car, when he installs it in the car, he's gonna have a set of exhaust manifolds. And that's another interesting thing. Once I do the test with the aluminum heads versus cast iron, once I remove the aluminum heads and put on the cast iron heads, of course the headers are gonna be on to do the same test versus the aluminum heads. And then when I'm finished with the job, I'm gonna take off the headers, put on the exhaust manifolds before I remove the engine from the dyno, so we can see the difference on this engine, headers versus exhaust manifolds before I deliver to my customer. If you guys don't wanna miss that, you better subscribe.
Nick loves doing research and comparison tests like this to see if parts are all they're cracked up to be. And in that spirit, it's time for some science.
And it's a 426 that I've done many times for a lot of customers. I've built HEMIs with aluminum heads, I've built HEMIs with cast iron heads, and of course, all the engines I've built all have some certain difference. I want to test this engine on a dynamometer with aluminum heads versus cast iron. I need to see the CC chambers are equal or not. I said I was going to look into it. I wasn't so sure if they're correct. I've measured the one in the aluminum cylinder head was a 170 cc, as I've written over here. And then now I got to do the cast iron, which I haven't done yet. But I didn't do it so I could show you guys how it's done. And because of being a scientist today, I'm wearing my daughter's lab coat that she's given to me a few years ago. I've also got this on Father's Day. And of course, then I put my personal Nick's Garage patch on. So we're going to measure this combustion chamber to see how many cc's there are. So, we'll have an idea when we do a test on the dynamometer, cast iron versus aluminum. If there's any difference, well, we have to know. And of course, all the valve sizes are the same. We're going to use the same springs, the same valves, the way they are. Of course, the same pistons, same cam, same header, same induction system. I would just want to try cast iron versus aluminum. So I've got a set of heads here, cast iron unmolested, and also a set of aluminum heads unmolested. The aluminum head unmolested, 170. Now, I'm going to show you viewers how a CC is done on a cylinder head. So we're going to use our graduated tube to measure the CCs on the combustion chamber. And this is a 200 cubic centimeter graduating tube we have here, or cylinder I should say. It's mixed with water and alcohol and some color. So let's get started and see how it goes. And I assembled the cylinder head on some V-blocks. I want to make sure the highest point is towards where the cylinder is getting filled. I'm going to put some oil here, or should I say some thick oil. This is pretty good. I use some milling lube. It works for me all the time. We put some oil so that it does not leak down, like so. And here we go. On the HEMI head, you got to make sure it doesn't leak on the intake valve because it sticks up above the deck a little bit. And here we go. So we flatten this out. We start at the 0 mark. And here we go. So now I'm going to fill up this chamber with this cubic centimeters cylinder. And then we're going to see what cc's we have, cubic centimeters. Here we go. See it filling up slowly. You got to make sure that the air pockets end up at the end, right at where I'm filling. And there's going to be a lot of cc's in there. Got a little bubble stuck there. See if I can just tilt it a bit. I'll try to do this. Bring it up there. There we go. I'll bring this up. There we go. We got it now. And there you have it. We filled up the chamber flat with our plexiglass, and there it is. It's 174 cc's. So as you can see, this head has never been planed. I'm surprised that the aluminum is 170 and the cast iron is 174. Even factory heads from the Chrysler, when they were on the engines back in 66 to 71, I measured a few cc's, cubic centimeters on those cylinder heads. If before you did any milling or anything, they always came between 173 and 174 cc. And this is a brand new cylinder head from Chrysler, and there you have it, 174 cc. So now we know it's a factory cylinder head, unmolested. So we have 4 cc's difference between the cast iron and the aluminum cylinder head. And this is how I empty it. It's got a tube. You squeeze the bottle, slide over the flexi head, and squeeze it in, and there it goes. It empties out. You put a siphon tube, suck it out, and here it is. Empties it all the way. Sometimes we have to empty out fuel cells here, fuel tanks, and that's what we do. And it's all done. There we go. So there you have it. 174 cc's. And this is how you measure combustion chamber. So the compression ratio is going to be slightly higher on the aluminum heads, which is better because they're aluminum. They're going to be slightly higher than the cast iron heads. So that's not bad. So we have a 170 cc versus 174 cc's. We're not going to touch them. We're going to leave them at that. And then we're going to put them on the HEMI and go through the test on our dyno. You know, you want more compression ratio on aluminum head. So this is good. We have 174 versus 170. Not a big difference, but you know what? It's exactly what I wanted. So this is going to be pretty cool to see on the dynamometer. I still have a few parts coming in for this. I've got a cam waiting for, timing chain, lifters, maybe push rods, I'm not sure yet. And then after that, maybe a set of valve covers that I have in-house I could sell to him. And of course, we're gonna put it all together, prime it, get it on the dynamometer, break in the cam, do a few tests with the aluminum heads we're gonna start with. We're gonna record everything, take off the heads, go on with the cast iron heads because that's what the customer is leaving to go home with. And then we're gonna see the difference, horsepower and torque with these 2 cylinder heads. And you guys who wanna see these tests on our channel, subscribe. And of course, you're gonna have to share it with everybody else. Get everybody to watch this because I don't know how many guys have done a cast iron versus aluminum on a 426 HEMI, which I will be doing on our channel here on Nick's Garage. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining us here in the lab. Not only did I got the other HEMI down in the shop to get built, I've got this one here that Larry sent me quite a while back that he's bought for his son, and maybe 15 years or so ago, and he showed no interest. So since Larry's a viewer on our channel on YouTube, he decided to send this to me. Since I build HEMIs, he decided to send it to me so that I can build it. I just went through the manual to how to assemble it, and I realized I need a few items. So I'm gonna get them on order, so I can have them shipped over here. And of course, I'm gonna start slowly putting it together, so you guys can see it as a complete HEMI after it's done. I'm going to spend some time here in the office and slowly put this together. And I've got the whole engine here, right here on one little tabletop. I got the cross-arm intake manifold. I've got the spark plug wires. I got the valve covers, the base of the intake manifold, alternator, carburetors, oil pan, cylinder heads. Boy, they're very light compared to what I'm used to picking up cast iron. And this is unique. Chrome valve covers. Everybody knows the chrome valve covers on a 426 HEMI. Air cleaner. So there's quite a few pieces to put together. So now that I've got time, I'm going to start putting this thing together once I get to what I need from the I need to order, and then of course we're going to get working on it. And I used to build a lot of models when I was young. I used to buy all kinds of cars, MPG, Aurora, or whatever. Anyways, all these model cars. Then used to paint them, put the wheels on, chrome them. A lot of them were customized cars, some were original cars, but I used to have a lot of them. And then when I was getting older, I started playing crash-up derby with them. And then of course I had nothing left. So then I got into the real thing, the real cars. and this is what I play with right now, and this is what I'm doing. Now, you know, I'm sure you guys, if you built models before, you need little paint brushes, glue, sandpaper, masking tape, or whatever. So this is what I gotta get right now so I can put this engine together. And this is gonna be one that's, once it's assembled, I believe it's gonna turn. It's gonna be a rotary. So that's gonna be good. And this is what you call a super stock HEMI. And of course, Larry sent it. I believe it's from Florida. Here it is. Larry, thank you very much. Now that I've got the time, sorry I didn't put it together much earlier. So I've got time right now, so I'm gonna put it together slowly, assemble it, and then I'm gonna show it to you, see how it looks when it's done. Except the only thing is, I couldn't put this thing on the dyno because it's not gonna fit.
It's cool to see the model HEMI all spread out on a table and ready to build. Nick has another engine all spread out on a table downstairs. The original numbers matching 440 out of his 1970 Challenger. But this engine is going to need a little more than a tube of glue before Nick can start assembly.
You know, when I go back into my younger years, when I was a kid, I watched this film called Vanishing Point with Barry Newman, filmed back in 1970-71 with a 1970 Dodge Challenger 440 Magnum with a 4-speed. I always loved that car ever since I seen that movie. And you know what? I said I always wanted to buy one of those one day. Last year, I finally found it after so many years. It had to be a 440, it had to be a Magnum, and of course, it had to be a 4-speed. Here it is. I have it. I bought it last year. And if you've seen it in the previous videos, we built the car over a 12-month or 13-month period. I put it together with another engine that I had, another 440 as a test mule engine that I use sometimes for my dynamometer. So I had that engine installed in my car just to get it running for that year. But I've never built the original matching number 440, which I have right here. If you go with the serial number, the last 8 digits, if you look at it, stamped on the block, tells you this is a matching number car. And this is it, it's right here, 440 Magnum. Yes, I did buy it in a rough, as a basket project car. The engine was, the heads were off, the oil pan was off. The reason was, I was buying the car and the guy was telling me it was a matching number, but the motor was damaged. He was showing me this before I got to Thunder Bay to look at it. And what he was showing me? A half a Canadian rod. I said, that's funny, a 6-pack rod and it's busted in half? Strange. But anyways, I flew to Thunder Bay to look at it. I fell in love with the car the moment I saw it. And the motor, of course, I was surprised it was a matching motor with it. I said, you know what? You can't lose on this. It's got to be something nice. So I flew up there, took a look at it, and this is what I've got. Eventually, I bought the car. But if you look at the block closely, this kind of damage could damage the block. So I believe this is piston number 6. And if you look down here into the cylinder block, if you look at it, cylinder 2, 4, 6, this one here, there's hardly any damage at all. All there is just a nick on the bottom of the cylinder. And of course, it's standard bore. It's got the original bearings. It's got everything original. And at the same time, when it did break the connector rod, I don't know for what reason, maybe he had no oil, he also spun 2 bearings. If you look closely here, the connector rods are black. See, when they're black like that, that's because there was no oil. For some reason, I don't know why. And here it is, if you look closely here, you can see here, there's a little a step. That means it's been working without the, it's been working dry and it worn down the crank. Anyways, it is a forged steel crank. It's the original pieces. This is the way the engine comes. So now my job is, I want to start from scratch with a blown, dirty engine, and I want to assemble it completely back to original for all you viewers to see it all nice and clean and running on a dynamometer. So this is my next project I have right here. So now that the car is done, and I don't have the original motor done, it's right here, and it's time to build it. We all know that a 446 pack and a 440 Magnum all had forged steel cranks, 6-pack rods, cast pistons, and 6-pack rods like I wanted to show you, like so. See how they are, the beams? Just to show you an example, just want to show you something. This is a 6-pack rod. If you look at it closely, it's straight down. This is found on a 440 Magnums, and of course 446 pack. Then if you go to a regular 440, in most common 440 engines, this is the rod you get. It thins out just when you get to the piston, compared to a 446 pack. And there you have it. 6-pack rod, typical 440 regular connector rod. So now this is going to take me a while to build because I have a few parts I need to buy. I don't know if they're going to come in now with the coronavirus going around, I should say. And the first thing I got to do is get this block checked, make sure there's no cracks. Should I have it Magnum fluxed? Yes, I probably will. So I'm gonna have it checked well, make sure, because I don't want to build the engine, then at the end you find a crack later on. But I'm sure it's good. I'm gonna have it checked, and of course we're gonna bore it out, line bore it, clean it, hot tank it, put in a new set of cam bearings, and of course we're gonna be ready to assemble. And when you replace the pistons or any rods, we're gonna have to rebalance the motor again. We're gonna have to balance the new pistons, the connector rod, the bearing, the rings, the crank, the flywheel, and the harmonic balancer all as one unit. So when we rev the engine, we're not gonna have any vibrations whatsoever. So that's what you call an internal neutral balance. You know, from the factory, this engine is external balanced. If you look at the harmonic balancer in the front, it has a counterweight, meaning that it's an external balanced motor. So is the flywheel, right here. I'm sure this is the correct flywheel. This is the one that came with the car. It's got some weight removed here. I guess it's external balanced, but you know what? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm gonna have it all neutralized, neutral, balanced, internal balance. Makes it very simple. I'm gonna balance the flywheel to neutral, the crankshaft, it's all itself with the parts, and of course I'm gonna use the same damper because I want the look of a 440 Magnum or 6-pack style in the front, which I want to keep to make it look genuine. I've done it many times before for many 446 pack motors because they all wanted that simple thing. If you want to change the flywheel in the future, all I have to do is buy a neutral flywheel, put it on. You don't have to look for 6-pack offset weights because it mixes things up for people when they want to do a job on an engine, change the flywheel for any reason. So let's keep it simple. Build the engine, make it all neutral, and if you want to buy parts, it's easy to do it that way. This is a pure, original, unmolested engine. The only thing is being damaged. Of course, when the connector will let go, this is the damage it did. Look at that dirt, grind. This is all original. Check it out. This is the windshield tray that comes in a 440 Magnum. It ripped the tray apart. Here's the pan. And of course, 440 Magnums come with the same pan as a 6-pack and a HEMI. Same oil pan. So buying a 440 Magnum is the real thing. Then you look at the rockers. We have to look at everything. Like for example, look right here. This is not too bad. This is not too bad. This is worn out, and this is worn out. Take a good look. These are factory rockers, stamped steel, 1.5 ratio. So you can see we're gonna need a few rockers. And here's the camshaft. 440 Magnum comes with a 1-bolt, single roller timing chain. There's the original lifters. They're mixed up, doesn't matter. I'm not going with the same cam. I'm gonna replace it with a brand new factory specs cam with new lifters, of course. And if you had a 446 pack, you get a 3-bolt timing chain, double roller if it was a real 6-pack. But in this case, it's a 440 Magnum. It's a single chain with a 1-bolt on the camshaft, which is factory. I've got the 4-barrel intake. It's a dual plane factory. 736 is 1970 4-barrel Magnum. So this is going back on also. Cast pistons, right from the factory. Boy, are they done, eh? Look at that. It's got a lot of carbon buildup. Boy, look at this. This is old. After all, it is 50 years old, eh? I'm gonna go through all the details on this engine buildup. It's mine, I'm gonna take my time. I'm going to explain as much as I can as we do the build-up. I might do a few upgrades as we go along, but I'm going to be mentioning piece after piece. The only thing I've done so far on this whole setup is the valve covers. I had them cleaned, sandblasted them, and put them away. And they're the genuine pieces. That's all I've done so far. Just clean up a pair of valve covers that came with the motor. Sure, it's going to need a valve job, new core plugs. We're going to do a complete cleanup. I'm going to do the valve job. I'm going to have to replace the valves with whatever I need, clean them up, which is going to be a nice job. I'm not going to do any porting or anything like that because I want to keep it all original. And then, you know, there's a lot of dirt and grind in these heads. You know, you could tell by looking through the oil pan, the block. Apparently the car had 90,000 miles on it. That's the original motor too on top of that. Could be, whatever. Here it is. It is what it is. It is rare, a 50-year-old car, that it has still the original motor. Okay, It is damaged, but then again, in many cases, a lot of engines back in those days, people bought cars, pushed them, revved them high, and broke the engines. Like this, for example. And of course, I'm lucky that this is a matching number car, a full 40 Magnum, 4-speed car, and I still have the original motor, just with a broken connector rod. I'm lucky. So you know what? Let's build it. Here we are, another week here at Nick's Garage, and we have more packages that just came in, and I'm here ready to open them up in front of you, all the viewers.
Nick's fantastic viewers send him mail from all over the world. Nick keeps every single box and envelope, and he wants to share them all with you. So it's time for Nick's mail.
It looks like it's from the fire department, no? All right, let's check it out. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see what Mark has sent us. Here we go. Oh, check it out. Brinkley Fire Department. Oh, check this out. Nice. Oh, he even got us the crest. Nice. Here we go. Let's take a look. Of course, every package comes with a letter. Here it is. Hi there, Nick. Love your YouTube channel. Love to see you hot rod a fire truck someday. You know, I had that in mind one time. I wanted to do a fire truck and take an old fire truck and do a hot rodding on it. But who knows, maybe someday in the future. If you ever come this far south, stop in and say hi. I sure would, let me tell you. Mark, thank you from Brinkley, Arkansas. Thank you, Mark. Let's see what else you've got for us. Oh, look at that, that's cute, eh? We got the stickers, we're gonna put them on. Established 1920. Firefighters, you gotta give credit to those fire department. So this is from Arkansas. Here we go, we got a shirt for me too. Wow, another shirt to add to the collection. And you know, they always say in the fire department, it's always fire and rescue. There it is. From Brinkley, Arkansas. Nice shirt, very nice. And I see he's got a whole team there photographed with him. We got a whole team here. We got a fire department watching us down in Arkansas. That's something, eh? Somehow I've noticed a few old fire trucks here and there, and you know what? They never die. That's what's good about it, because you know why? It's guys like you that take care of them when they come after fighting a fire. You guys keep them top notch and shiny. And not you guys, you deserve credit for that. Let me tell you, and this goes for every fire department. You guys are pretty generous, let me tell you. I think you guys overdid it. The flag of Arkansas. Look at that. There you go, Mark, thank you. I didn't have to mark it myself. This is gonna be something special. Oh, look at that. This is something unique. Look at that. Check it out. The chief signed it. Come on, you guys. And they're doing a lot now for the COVID-19. Of course, they're also fire and rescue. You've got to give credit to these people. They're going out of their way to help a lot of people. And you have to give credit to these guys, because not only do they battle fires, they also do rescue. And now with the COVID-19, they're still out there helping everybody as much as they can. And that is something, you guys. You got to thank these people. And here it is. It's called the Arkansas State Firefighters Association. And Mark and the team at your fire department, thank you very much. And you guys stay safe, you guys. All right, here's another one. And this is from Corbin family, I believe it is, from Maryland. Okay, another one from the USA. I've been through Maryland. That's where I picked up my first convertible, which was in Baltimore. I also got a speeding ticket on the highway there. Who could forget Maryland? I get speeding tickets everywhere, so that makes no difference to me. Here we go. Oh. Hello, Nick. My name is Ed. I love to watch you and your magic on all types of engines. I was an auto mechanic for 13 years. Loved every minute. I'm sending you 2 flags, one from my home state of Maryland, USA, and another one from the country of Israel. Please hang them up in your shop with honor. Thank you. Of course I will. This is what we're here for. I want to put up everybody's flags up. And I believe this is the flag of Maryland. Yes, it is. Thanks, Ed. And of course, now we have another flag. Here it is. The flag of Israel. Mazel tov, Ed. There it is. Besides these flags I have here, I got a few more upstairs to put up, another 12. So I'm gonna get a scissor lift, spend a couple of nights putting them all up. I'm gonna make that garage even more colorful. Ed, thank you very much and stay safe. Another one from the USA. This is from Jeffrey from the state of Washington. Here's another letter. Nick and crew. Great show, Nick. I like you dwelling in this stuff almost all my life. Here are 4 of my latest cars. Currently playing with Belvedere, found in Chicago, and just changing up some drivetrain stuff before we went start cooking tires. My better half is from the Philippines, where I served several years. So when we are not in Washington, we are there, still watching Nick's Garage. Since you'll most likely have a Washington State flag or two, here's one from our hometown. Keep on reaching. It keeps us young. Jeff and Charissa. Thank you, guys. Ooh, check this out. Wow. It's an old Belvedere satellite. It's a Plymouth GTX. And this is a 68 Coronet 500 Chrome RT. This is 71. Matching motor. Matching 440, 727, Dana 60, 390. Jeffrey, what a lovely collection, man. I wish I had all the cars, but anyways, I know you sold 2 of them. But Jeffrey, you have a nice collection there, let me tell you. Here's another flag. Oh, from the Philippines. And I believe when you have it up in blue, this is my second flag from the Philippines. Blue means peacetime on the top, like so. Thank you, folks. They just keep coming in. You guys don't have to do this. It's very touching what you guys do. You go out of your way and go out and buy things and then go to the post office and have them sent to me. I really appreciate it. It's very touching, and I want to say a special thank you to all that get involved and help me out in this. This is very nice. Thank you. Here's another one. It's from Mark from the USA and the state of New York. Let's go. Let's open it up. Here we have a nice letter, of course. Nick, I enjoy watching your YouTube channel. I was saddened that you had to sell your keeper to finance the Kowalski project going, but I totally understand. So with that said, I hope you enjoy my gift and display it in memory of the keeper. Mark from Syracuse, New York. Oh, look at that. Hey, this is cute, man. This is cute. Keeper is gone, but at least I have it as a miniature, another HEMI engine, downsized. It's gonna stay in my shop. Hey, look at that. The keeper. Nice. This is very unique. Man, you guys go out of your way for this. This is nice. Mark, thank you very much. I'm going to put this I'm going to put it on display somewhere. I don't know where. I'm going to put it because I want to make sure nobody walks out with it. Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. Okay, here's our last box of the day. This is from Pennsylvania. There we go. I have a few Chilton manuals, but not this version. 1964, 35th year. Oh, this is an old book. It sure is in good shape. A lot of good information in these books, let me tell you. I love them. We have a little letter here. I had an old HEMI and needed this manual for some torque specs. As far as I can remember, the 331, 354, 392 are silver with black lettering. Hope this book is help and the magazines are in good reading. By the way, love your channel. Jim, thank you. And let's see what magazine you got here. Muscle Machines, Charger, K&K Insurance, and Richard Petty. I don't have these particular books. I don't think I do. I've got so many old books, but I don't have this one. Muscle Machines, HEMI's Last Hooray. Jim, thank you very much from Pennsylvania. And then I want to say a special thank you to everyone that sent me some packages here this week. And of course, in the past, I want to have a special thank you to all our Patreon supporters and all our viewers. And you guys, I want to thank you for sending me all these things, but you don't have to. Thank you very much. You don't have to. Let's help out those doctors and nurses. They need help right now. Let's go out and help them. For me, don't worry about it. I'm okay. I'm good. Thank you. I just enjoy that you guys watch my channel, and I want to thank you for that. Stay safe. Thank you, and I love you all. And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.